11:15. Morning, everyone. It's Monday. It's Meatloaf. And, well, we are building up. It's Kath here. Hello. To a big game for Wolves tonight. And not possibly in a good way. Wolves against West Ham is being dubbed El Sackico on social media. And that's because Gary O'Neill and the Hammers boss, Julen Lopetegui, who spent a season at Molineux himself, both go into this match with a feeling that only one may come out with their job intact. Bookie John Hill from Coral has been looking at the odds.
In the next Premier League manager to leave market is the West Ham boss, Lopetegui, the favourite at 10-11. Gary O'Neill not far behind at 6-5. We've already got betting available on the next West Ham and the next Wolves manager markets. The next West Ham boss, it is Graham Potter, the former Chelsea and Brighton boss, the favourite there at 1-2. Michael Carrick, the Middlesbrough manager, he's in the betting at 5-2. In terms of the next Wolves manager market, Steve Cooper, the 5-2 favourite there, not far behind. Rafa Benitez at 5-1. Rudy Garcia at 6-1. So some big names being linked to these jobs, but can they hang on? Will the loser of this game, as I say, be looking for a new manager tomorrow morning?
It's brutal, isn't it? It's brutal football. They're doing the odds on you losing your job, but that's the way it is because, it's big money and it's very important. Wolves sit 19th in the table on 9 points. Torrid time with West Ham 6 points better off in 14th place. Joining me now is Dazzling Dave from Always Wolves Fan TV. Hi, Dave. Thanks for coming on this morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you, and thanks for asking us to join you, Kath.
Yeah, I'm sorry it's not in nicer circumstances, but that's what being a football fan is, isn't it? At the end of the day, I think lots of people can't believe Gary O'Neill's still there.
I think that's the general consensus of the majority of the Wolves fan base now is they're staggered he's still in a job, but he is. But for how long is the question?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think the answer to that is? I know it's all speculation and no one really knows exactly what goes on behind the scenes, behind closed doors here. But when do you think that is going to happen? Do you think it very much depends on what happens later?
I don't think it depends anything on what happens later. I think he's gone regardless of whether we win, lose or draw tonight. Gary O'Neill said in his press conference the day after the Everton disaster that he hadn't heard from either Matt Hobbs or Chairman Jeff Shee. I think there is things going on behind the scenes. I think they're already talking to people. And I think, personally, regardless of whether he wins, loses or draw tonight, he's going to go. I just don't. I mean, Gary O'Neill's a really nice guy. He came in, as you say, late last season when the current West Ham manager, Julen Lopetegui, left Wolves, and he did a decent job. He had a lot of credit in the bank because of the injuries at the end of last season, and obviously everyone thought we were going to be in a relegation battle last season, and we finished 14th. Difficult set of fixtures, some decent performances, but some of the decisions in game and the Brentford game and some of the results since then were just really papering over the cracks, really. And then the performance against Bournemouth, followed up by the performance against an Everton team that hadn't scored in 4 games and could have scored 8. I think that was the last straw. Yeah. And I think as much as Gary O'Neill's a really nice chap, I think he's out his depth. I think he'll make a great number 2. He'll probably have to go and maybe be a manager lower down. But I think, personally, he'll go regardless of the result tonight. I think he has to go.
Yeah, I mean, you're in this, what happens in football sometimes with this strange position where Lopetegui's also, under fire at the moment. And this is I don't know, it's one of those matches that's it's not potentially a nice match to have either, is it, I suppose?
I think both sets of fans are really, angry at the moment with both managers, and they've lost faith. I've had West Ham fans saying, "Can we have Lopetegui back?" all things like that. So I think it is kind of the El Sacchio, and I think potentially both managers could go, not just the one on who loses. I think potentially both could go. And I'm hoping that our board are actually interviewing and looking to get someone in place rather than what happened with Mick McCarthy a few years, when we went the double dip relegation and then we had nobody set up. So if they're doing due diligence, hopefully they're trying to get the right man. But it doesn't need to be. I mean, I saw on the report that you said that Steve Cooper was favourite. Absolutely, that would be a disastrous. He's been sacked by two Midland teams. Steve Cooper, no way. It needs to be someone with a lot more gravitas than someone like a Steve Cooper.
That's a bookies thing, where they have their own algorithms, don't they, for these things? But what?
Absolutely,
who then? Who would you like to see, Dazzling Dave?
Well, personally, for me, I'd love to see us, whether or not we'd get him or not, Sergio Conceição, who is the ex-Porto manager. He wasn't actually sacked directly. I mean, he was relieved of his duty at Porto, but I think they had new owners, and the Porto fans weren't very happy. He's kind of like, for me, he'd be the closest thing to getting Nuno back. He's, from what the Porto fans say, he's like a Nuno 2.0. And I think he would be a really good one for me to bring in. He's got experience. He's managed at a high level, and we've got international players that need a manager of that calibre to manage them. And I hope it's someone like him with a lot of gravitas, and that's the guy I'd like to see us get in. Whether or not he is him or not, obviously, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, well, I'm sure some Wolves fans will be agreeing with you. That's what they want for Christmas. We will follow it closely, of course. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. Take care. Dazzling Dave from the Always Wolves Fan TV.